I mentioned that I was just bumping around online, and I saw this poll of the 10 worst cars ever. And I thought that was sort of curious. And I went through this list, and I'll read it to you very quickly. Most of what you would expect were on the list, with a couple of notable exceptions. According to this particular list, the 10th worst car ever was the VW Bus. So to all you deadheads and other stoners and surfers, sorry about that. Not that I've ever been in one or driven one, but I've got to go along with that. Sorry, stoners. The 9th worst car ever was the Renault Dauphine. Never heard of it, but I'm looking at a picture of it, and as ugly as that car is, I buy it. I believe it. The 8th worst car ever, apparently, was the Cadillac Cimarron. According to this article, quote, a stupid marketing ploy. Nothing more than a Chevrolet Cavalier, which Roger Smith gussied up and called a Cadillac. That's actually funny. That's true. All these guys cruising around like, yo, got me a caddy. Got my first caddy. The 7th worst car of all time was the Dodge Aspen and Plymouth Volare. The 6th worst car ever was the Renault Lacar. Nice job. Renault's already got 2 in the top 10. We're only at number 6. The 5th worst car ever, according to this list, the Chevy Chevette. That's a pretty fresh ride, by the way. The 4th worst car ever, according to this list, is the AMC Gremlin. If I had a vote on this list, that would have been the 2nd. Tied for 2nd with the AMC Matador. I mean, are there 2 uglier rigs than those? I'm assuming the Gremlin is the Pacer. I think it's the same, but I can't really be sure. Boy, AMC should be thrilled that they're only number 4 with the Gremlin. What a hideous rig. If you ever owned one of those, you're a loser. If you've ever actually been in one of those, you're a loser. According to this list, the 3rd worst car ever was the Ford Pinto. Yeah, why not? That car used to explode. Anything that explodes upon impact is a pretty bad car. The 2nd worst car ever, according to this, is the Chevy Vega. And according to the list, the single worst car ever was the Yugo, which was a pretty horrible car. The fact that the worst car ever produced, not on this list, makes to me the list totally worthless. We all know the worst car ever. That was my Miracore. My Miracore was the original piece of crap. Long before Eric Gagne was a piece of crap, the Miracore was a piece of crap. Hated that car. Absolutely hated it. Car was great for 15,000 miles. Man, I thought that I was the man. Maybe you remember seeing those rigs around. I got it in 1986. Damn, I thought I was cool. Leather, turbo, sunroof, metallic blue. Man, I had it going on for 15,000 miles. And the second that bitch turned over to 15,001, the trouble started. White smoke was coming out. Every so there was a new indicator light on my dashboard. I'm like, damn, what's that orange one mean? What's the red one mean? Every single day I'd be in my manual. What does that light mean? And they would never go off. You could not turn them off. I'd go to the dealer. They'd fix it. The light would go off. The second I turned right out of the dealership, the light would go back on. And that was the worst part of all. Bad enough that I got stuck with this horrible rig that smoked and didn't run and burned oil. It's an embarrassment. Nothing like being at a stoplight with a car that's 2 years old and smoking up the entire city. That wasn't very embarrassing. The only thing worse was whenever I drive to the dealer and I'd go to service, they'd laugh right in my face. I mean, humiliating. Like I'd roll that rig up there, and the service advisor, you know, the a-hole who always comes out with his clipboard after you've been in line for like an hour? This guy would get up without even looking up from his clipboard. Okay, what do we have here? He'd look up from the clipboard, look at me, and be like, ha, 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 Rome, what's up? You know, I'd say, why don't you go to hell? How much do you give me for this car? He goes, well, why don't we look at the Blue Book value? So I'd go back in the service area. He'd say the Blue Book value on your car is $3,000. I'd say, you know what? That's great, considering I owe $12,000 on the car. And this went on year after year. I'd go in, they'd laugh in my face, I'd be pissed, I'd leave. Finally, and I lived up in Santa Barbara at the time, I'd had enough. I took the car back to the dealer that sold it to me, who luckily was a family friend. You know, with friends like that, who needs enemies? Dude said, take it off my hands. So I drive down the coast. Santa Barbara to L.A. pretty much is downhill all the way. It's like downhill. This guy was in Orange County. So I pretty much dropped the car into neutral because I didn't want anything bad to happen. I dropped the car into neutral for 4 hours and just rolled downhill from Santa Barbara to Orange County. I mean, praying all the way down that nothing bad happened to the car. I mean, keep in mind, I couldn't get that thing to the market without it breaking down. I make it all the way down from Santa Barbara to Orange County, drop the car on the lot confidently like all is good. The guy cuts the check out free. You know, pretty much for the Blue Book value. Come to find out that 2 days later they tried to take it to auction. They turned out of their lot and the car blew up 100 feet from their dealership. Just exploded. Finally, I got to laugh in somebody's face. Piece of crap. So I'm not buying this top 10 worst cars of all time list. It may have the Volkswagen van. Sorry, stoners. It may have the Yugo and the Gremlin. But until it has the Mercor, it's a worthless list.